Greetings, I'm Neon Slice, and today I wanted to showcase a weapon that you've probably encountered in Elden Ring if you tend to get invaded, and that is the Backhand Blade. The Backhand Blade is an infamous weapon that a lot of invaders are using right now. So I'm using the Shard of Alexander as my only requirement for this build. The Shard of Alexander is acquired, of course, by completing Alexander questline. Greatly boosts the attack power skills by 20% or so it does make a big difference. You end up dealing an additional amount of damage with your L2 attack or your left trigger. So I am using this weapon with a cold infusion, which makes it a B and B in intelligence and dexterity. That's because I like using magic with this weapon, but of course you don't have to. So the cold infusion scales with intelligence as well as dexterity with this weapon. These are my stats, but I recommend you have very high endurance, around 34 or even 40. Your mind doesn't really matter too much as long as you have flasks, but yeah, essentially I like running around with 60 intelligence or, you know, around that. But you can have as much intelligence and dexterity as you want as long as you use those as your two main stats if you're planning on going for the cold backhand blade plus 25. Additionally, this weapon is not amazing outside of PvP. It is very okay. There are definitely better weapons in the game, but it's just fun to use. You know, it might not be the best, but it's really fun to use, especially if you plan on playing as a mage or any kind of other character that casts spells. Because if you infuse the backhand blade with a keen infusion, it becomes an S ranking in DEX, meaning it'll be one of the best weapons in DEX. This weapon works really well with a keen infusion and buffs like Blood Flame Blade and Frozen Armament. Even Scholar Armament increases the damage output by a lot. Or any other dragon things that make it, you know, coats it in lightning and stuff like that. This will boost its damage immensely. So I 100% recommend you try this and try doing an arcane build or a faith build with dexterity, then putting a keen infusion on it and have very high dex and very high, you know, whatever other magic thing you want to use. That's why it works really well with buff builds such as Blood Flame Blade, Frozen Armament, Scholar's Armament, and things like that. So the best damage output is making it a keen infused weapon and then coating your armament with a buff spell such as Blood Flame Weapon, Frozen Armament, and so on. Even Electrify Armament works really well. Currently in my playthrough, I have 1000 damage when I'm using it with Scholar's Armament and Keen Infusion. Anyway, here are some clips from my adventures in PvP. Also, let me just say, I don't condone this weapon. I think this weapon is very cheap. It's a very cheap way of winning in PvP, and I hope we see something more unique and different in the PvP invasion scene. Anyway, enjoy the gameplay. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed it and subscribe for more.